All right, here we go, Gator. The scuttlebutt the last couple days here is Davante Adams is apparently possibly going to get traded by the Raiders. If he does get traded, where does he end up?
I know there's a lot of speculation about him going to New Orleans or the Jets to play with one of his former quarterbacks, but I think in the end, he'll end up in Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh will make the best offer, and that's how that works. It's not where Davante wants to go. It's what do the Raiders want to do with the pick. And look, he's a perfect fit for Pittsburgh. I talked a little bit about it yesterday. I think the chemistry he can develop with Justin Fields, they are so desperate to have a wide receiver option, and he's one of the best in football. He'll make that offense so much better. He'll make Pittsburgh a better team, and they're going to be right back in the playoffs where we've always seen them.
I think the tea leaves are there that a GM wants him. And I think the Jets GM, coach, and quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, wants him in New York. So I think Aaron Rodgers is going to trade for him, and he'll give up future draft picks that he won't even be around to not use.
Does Aaron Rodgers like his former teammates? Has he tried to get them jobs before?
Yeah.
No? Gator, I agree with you. I think it's the Steelers just because, other than the fact they actually need him, they were very aggressive for Brandon Ayuk. And apparently they had a deal done, but Ayuk didn't want to go there. So I think they offer up something pretty similar to what they're offering up for Brandon Ayuk. I think they need him on the offense. He goes well with Pickens. Listen, Justin Fields is not as good of a quarterback as Aaron Rodgers or Derek Carr, at least throwing the football. But I think Adams will learn to live with that because he's going to a winner. He's had the stats and yards in this league. I think at this point he wants to try to win. The Steelers are off to a good start. I think the Steelers get it done, and Adams will say, okay, I'll go over there. All right, which team has had the most impressive start so far, guys?
I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings behind MVP Sam Darnold. If you have to pick it at the quarter post, I don't know how you can pick anybody other than him. He has been unbelievable. The only question is it sustainable? And I'm not convinced of that just yet. But boy, if they've been impressive. What they did last week at Green Bay when Jordan Love came back blows my mind. Didn't expect that.
Well, the question was most impressive start. We don't know how they're going to finish, but I think it's Minnesota by light years. Nobody thought that Sam Darnold had anything left in him because, frankly, Sam Darnold sucked in the NFL. But look at him now. 4-0 atop the NFC North. He's resurrected his career over there, working with all those weapons that they have in Minnesota. They got a good defense. It's a 4-0 start for the Vikings. I don't know how they're going to finish, but the question was who's had the most impressive start, and there's no doubt it's Minnesota.
I've got the Commanders, guys. I mean, Minnesota has a good defense, and they got weapons on offense. The Darnold thing, yeah, unexpected completely, but he's doing great over there. But for me, the Commanders have less talent and a rookie quarterback. Is Jaden Daniels C.J. Stroud? Like, this is unreal what he's doing. His completion percentage is through the roof. Amazing what they've done over there with a rookie quarterback. 3-1 leading that division. For me, the Commanders have been the most impressive.
It's a good case.
All right, according to the AP, 2 European trips in the NFL schedule could become more common. That means that a team going like to London, for example, would stay over there, be a home team 1 week, and then the following week be a road team. That's what Jacksonville's doing actually this year. This could be more common, but it doesn't have to be London. It could be Germany. It could be anywhere. They just stay over in Europe or wherever they're staying internationally. Do you think this is actually a better compromise than actually having a full-time like European team?
I think it is. This is something that makes sense. You know, I'm not a fan of playing overseas, but if you're going to do it and if you're going to send that many teams over, why not send 4 teams over and they just switch up? I think it's a great idea. From a travel aspect, too, those teams can now have a bye week when they come back stateside. That makes sense. I don't think the league doesn't need expansion yet, but it's inevitable. They're going to. Are they going to put teams in London or in Europe? I don't know. We know that the 18-game schedule is inevitable. We'll see if the expansion to there is inevitable.
So one of my bold-ass predictions this year in the NFL was that Roger Goodell would announce expansion coming up at the Super Bowl press conference with 8 teams joining the league, and I think there'll be a bunch in Europe. So, no, I don't think this is a better idea. I kind of like it, to be honest with you. I think the players are starting. It sounds like they don't hate it as much either. It's world's a smaller place than it used to be. So I don't like this as a better. I mean, I can see why they're doing it, but I think they're looking at expansion, and I think there's going to be teams in Europe soon.
Wait. So you think there's going to be expansion, but do you like this idea?
No.
You don't like the idea of having the teams go there and play twice?
No, I think along with the expansion, it'll make more sense just to have teams playing home games over there.
So for me, this is like a rock and a hard place. I don't like the expansion to international, cities. But is this a better option? Yes, just because I don't want the teams. I don't want the NFL expanding to London or wherever. I actually think it kind of raises an eyebrow, though. I think the fact that they're open to this means maybe it isn't as easy as getting a London team as we all thought and inevitable. Maybe they're compromising because, hey, this might take longer. It might be 20, 40 by the time we get a team out there. So in the meantime, to grow the game is what they say. Let's just keep doing this. I like it better than actually having a full-time team over there because the opposite would be them having to stay in America for 2 weeks, right? And playing and traveling back to their hometown, which would be London or wherever. But I guess in the end, I like this better. But I think the international team's not quite as ready as if they thought it was. All right, the last 2 Mondays, guys, we've had overlapping Monday Night Football games. 2 more on the schedule this year. Do you like this?
No. I can only watch one at a time. And quite frankly, I have to think real hard about who the other game was.
Well, this week was tough because the Lions.
Yeah, exactly.
It's also the worst game ever.
So, the idea that you could flip around, I don't like that. Just let me zero in on one Monday night game. I never at any point during Monday night, I'll either turn a game off or watch the whole thing. I've never thought, God, I wish there were more games on. So no, I don't like it.
I hate this idea. I don't know. I mean, of course, it's all done by money and they can make a little bit more money, but I hate it because it takes away the specialness of being able to play on Monday night. Now you've got more teams. It just, I don't like that. Actually, ESPN for Monday Night Football this past week, they averaged over 20 million viewers with the overlap for both games. But the Sunday night game on Peacock, 22.3 million people tuned in to watch the Ravens and Bills. So, I mean, what does that tell you? People would I think they'd rather see the one game than the 2 games.
Well, it depends on the game. The Ravens-Bills, that's a great matchup.
Well, sure, but it's also on Peacock.
Well, so you don't like it? Are you done?
No,
I don't want to interrupt you.
No.
I don't like it, but I don't think the NFL cares. And I think for the games, I like having the one game because it's special, but I don't think having one game guarantees you get ratings, though, Gator. So the 20 million that you talk about for Monday night this past week, 15 million were watching the Lions, okay? The other 5 are watching the Dolphins-Titans. So you're saying, wow, that's a big discrepancy. But 5 million is still a lot of people to get watching a television show on a Monday night. So I don't think that the NFL cares. I think they're thinking, we got 20 million, and it doesn't matter how we split it up, right?
I know they don't care, but the question was, do I like it? No, I hate it.
No, I don't like it either, but this is just, they're going to continue to do it because it's all about the money. What team needs a win the most this week?
I think it's Cincinnati. They're dangerously close to being completely irrelevant. They need a win over a division rival, Baltimore, just to get back into kind of contention here. I mean, this is a big game, division game. People are really down on the Bengals right now. Offensively, they came back and they've looked better, but they're 1-3 right now. Can they afford to go 1-4? I mean, we're talking about dangerous territory here. I think it's Cincinnati. They desperately need to win.
I think it's Dallas. They are 2-2 and they're a game behind Washington. But after they play Pittsburgh this weekend, and they got to get wins anywhere they can, their schedule has them against Detroit, at San Francisco, at Atlanta, Philly, Houston, at Washington.
Oof.
Dallas needs every win they can find, or they're going to fade from this thing quickly.
Yeah, Dallas is a good call. The Niners are another team that need a win. I mean, there's a lot of teams right now that are on the cusp of maybe just falling too far behind. In the end, I agree with you, Gator. I'm going with Cincinnati. The tiebreaker for me was it's a divisional game. So not only do you lose a game, you're going to lose the tiebreaker, which essentially it's 2 games. Now, of course, they play the Ravens again, but 1-4 is really tough to come by. I don't care how talented this roster is. They eventually have to win games, and this one might be putting them too far behind because that division's tough. I mean, the Browns, they need to win as well. Steelers are already off to a good start, so I'm going with the Bengals. All right, last one, guys. The Cowboys owner, Jerry Jones, showed up to practice in a helicopter. That's right, a helicopter. He landed it on the turf right next to the practice field where the players were practicing. Your thoughts on this move?
It is such a flex from a man who has not grown out of flexing. And I can't even picture Sheila Ford Hamp doing this, although maybe she should now to mock him. Land a helicopter on the practice field and come strutting out with a glass full of bourbon in her hand. I seriously, Jerry is so Jerry, and that's why I mentioned Dallas needs the win. I hope they don't get it.
This is a guy that made draft selections from his yacht. Remember that?
Yes.
This jackass. He's such a massive tool with the most massive ego. I hope the team turns on him, and I hope that turn is, and the revolt is led by the quarterback who just says, would you just stay away? Honestly, you're not the coach. You're not the GM.
He actually is the GM.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying you shouldn't be. You're not the coach. You're not the GM. You're the owner of the team. Stay in the lane of ownership. Enjoy the fact that you're the owner of the team. You're horrible otherwise. Stay away.
Call me a tool. This is a boss move, and I think I do the same thing. Like, this is right out of a movie or an HBO show. People act like they wouldn't act like Jerry Jones or Mark Cuban if they were to own a team, when in fact more would than would not. They would do boss moves. They would make draft picks from their yacht. They would name themselves the president and GM of the team. You own the team. So, listen, I don't like Jerry Jones. Does he rub me the wrong way sometimes? Sure. But this is a boss move. There's no other way to put it. He landed a helicopter during practice.
And that concludes the Wide 9 Omaha 4 Down Around the League Blitz thingy.